This is blank. This is default. So what I say, key in the scale. So your keys are these alphabets down here, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We need to set it to whatever the beat is. So I have a beat in here, right? Little key, little guy that type beat Tesla. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here. The key is B minor, okay? So when we go over here, we're gonna select B. Then we're gonna change our scale to natural minor because that is minor. So now that is the same as the beat. So that's the first law. If we don't abide by the first law, everything else, our foundation will fall. We will not be successful because we can either do the minor or the relative major, or if it's in a major and we can't set it, if it don't sound good, we can put it in a relative minor. All right, this is like it. Every minor has a relative major, every major has a relative minor. Waves has a plugin called Key Detector that'll auto detect it, and you can send it directly to your Waves tone in real time. Law number 2, make sure your formant is corrected. Okay, it's right over here. Formant, it's under correction. Okay, you can turn it off, you can turn it on, but we want to make sure it's corrected, because if you've been struggling, we don't want you trying to experiment and do extra things. So make sure it is corrected, because a lot of times people will reach out and they'll be like, Sky, I can't get it to work, and then I'll be like, it's doing this, and it's like, okay, not corrected, put it on corrected. Law number 3, speed and note transition have no correct settings. This is where it depends on you, your singing ability, your desired effect. All of this matters, okay? But it's like right now, let's say if I wanted to get the most out of this tune, right, I would bring this all the way down to 0.1. I would bring the note transition all the way down to 0.1. When I go back over to the plugin and I turn it on, when I talk, we hear my vocals being tuned. So it's working, okay? It's working. There's nothing else on here. Nothing. Like, there's nothing else. Like, no other plugins whatsoever. This depends on our singing ability, the amount, the speed, or the correction that we want to hear. Because we can hear that I still got, like, tone on my voice, right? So if I'm messing with the note transition, everything is going. Then I mess with the time. So if I lock this in sometime, so it sounds like that. But it's like most of the time when people are using this, most people are going to want to have that T-Pain, that auto-tune, that hard-hitting tone. And that's cool. But it's like if you don't want the speed to be that hard, that fast, you just turn it up. Because even with the note transition, we're still hearing some type of correction being done. Law number 4, correction. When it comes to correction, it's up to you, literally. Like I said with law number 3, it pairs with 4. So it's like correction depends on you. Like if you have that off, nothing's going to work. It's not going to correct anything, nothing, nada. But it has to be on for it to correct. So, but if we dial it back to the left, it's not going to be active. No matter what we do, it's not going to work, right? So 112, whatever, like 62 is giving us some correction. So it's kind of strong. But 100 is going to give you the full... But 100 is going to give you the full effect, all right? So just keep that in mind. Law number 5 is very important, like very, very important, right? Range. This section right here, range... When it comes to bass, you see how I just moved down there and it blacked out all these other keys? If I hit notes up here in this range up here, they're not going to register, right? Because it's only going to pick up the bass, baritone. You see how I just moved up? So anything down here, C1 up here, to right here, it's not going to be active, right? That locks the keyboard. Tenor, see how it's going up and just locking the range. So if you put it on tenor and you're hitting notes up here, it's not going to work for you, right? You see how that just gave a bigger range? Then you got this right here. It moves up. There's soprano. It moves up. So these notes down here, when I'm talking, even with it being corrected, it's not being corrected because those notes are not active. You understand? When you leave it in generic, it gives you a wider range. When bass, like my voice is picking up down here, right? So this one. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. See how that just disappeared? Yeah, yeah. See it disappeared. Right? Soprano. Yeah. And I'm not a soprano, so I'm not hitting those notes, right? And then generic is just gonna pick up anything from this wide range because most people voices will pick up in this range. Law 6, hearing yourself. Hearing yourself is gonna give you the best chance at a good performance, right? Because when people want to use because when people want to use ways to in real time or auto tune or just in general, like a lot of people don't hear themselves, right? So they'll never hear if the key is in the correct scale or anything because when the key is in the wrong scale, you'll be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? So we know this is B minor. So that's what happens when I put this in E flat minor. So listen. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like that's bad auto tune. That don't sound good. That just made waves to in real time sound horrible. So it's like if I didn't hear myself, I wouldn't know until I played it back. And then I would be thinking like, hey, it's something going on with my settings, and it's just not the settings fault because we made a mistake with the key and the scale. So that's on us. But hearing yourself is gonna allow you to perform right. So if you're not hitting those notes the way that you want, you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be real and hear yourself because most of the artists that you want to be like, want to make music like, want to collab with in the future, like Ariana Grande, like to Billie Eilish, to Future, to Drake, to Kendrick Lamar, everyone hears themselves, right? That's why people have the headphones on. They're not just hearing the beat, they're hearing themselves. Like Eminem has this line in the cleaning out my closet song. He was like, hey, can you turn the snare up? I can't hear my snare in the headphones. Can you turn the snare up? Right? Yeah, because he's hearing all the stuff. He's hearing what's going on, can tell him, can hear his voice and everything like that. And if you're too far away from the microphone, the waves to real time is not going to pick up and it's not going to sound right. And then you get this ugly, dirty room reverb that you have because, like, the room, I mean, like, you hear the room. Like the natural reverb in here, the room itself is just isn't good, right? So that's just not good. Law number 7, use a tracking chain. When I say tracking, I mean tracking, something you record with. We're not mixing, all right? When you're recording with auto tune or waves in real time, you're not mixing. We are tracking. You need a tracking chain, a recording chain, something simple. Waves to in real time, a mic pre if you got one, compression, a little reverb, right? A little EQ if you want, right? You don't have to overdo it. Just something to like have your signal up where you can vibe out. With that being said, for my tracking chain, like any little tracking chain, like I could do stuff like really simple, right? So like we could put RVox on here and mono. Alright, so we got RVox on here. Like it sounds cool. Like right now, something we boosting the signal. Nothing too crazy, right? And then we come behind it with like 1176 or something like that, right? So now we hear that and we just find some little pre in here that might just sound good, right? So like that right there, that's not bad. And then let's say we're not printing anything. We're just recording and monitoring. We're just monitoring. We're gonna have a little fun. Put a little reverb on here. Since when FL, you know how that go. A little reverb don't hurt nothing. So we just turn that back just a little bit so we can get a little bit more out of our performance. We hear the verb, right? Everything is good. Yeah. 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 So nice little tracking chain. So that's what it's like when we hit record on it. So like watch this. Hit record. Play. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money flex and drop that shit. I remember being broke and I ain't had no hoe. Now I got a whole lot of bitches on my phone, cause I got a bag now, yeah, got a bag now, yeah, got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah. So like that's just something we recorded, and then we just play that back so we can have the sound, right?
Money flex and drop that shit.
I remember being broke and I ain't had no hoes. Now I got a whole lot of bitches on my phone, cause I got a bag now, yeah, got a bag now, yeah, got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah, I got a bag now, yeah. So like that's just something simple. Law number 8. Good performances. If you don't have good performances, you have nothing. No matter your settings, no matter the retune speed, the key, the scale, everything could be perfect, but if your performance is not on point, it's not going to sound good. So that voice that you hear in your head, you have to be that, right? When you're recording, don't worry about the people that's on the other side of the door. Don't worry about the people that stay beside you, below you, anybody. Like, just don't worry. Like, you got to perform. So the energy, the delivery, everything, like if you're doing ad-libs like Travis Scott, you're gonna have to tap in and do that, right? You're doing ad-libs like Thug, Future, just anybody, you're gonna have to do it. Just perform good, right? Just make sure your performance is good, because the tune only works as good as you, right? So you don't want to let the tune down. You have to perform. Law number 9. This was made to be used in real time. Don't be one of those people that's got this ego, that's got this pride about themselves. Just like, I don't need it, I just put it on after it. And listen, it was made to be used in real time. That's why it's called Waves Tune Real Time. All right, real time implies recording with it in a studio, performing with it live at a gig, event, whatever you want to call it, live. This was made to be used in real time. If you're using it afterwards, you're doing a huge disservice to yourself. All right? Waves Tune, real time. If you want to use it after, there's something called Waves Tune. All right? That's a different one. It's a graph one. You can move things around and do all that extra stuff. But if you got Waves Tune real time, use it in real time. Law number 10, your voice will require its own settings. All right? Copying mine, Tory Lanez, Drake's, Future's, Travis Scott's, Don Toliver's, Justin Bieber's, anybody, right? If you copy anybody's settings, right, you're still gonna have to make tweaks and adjustments. It's not gonna be perfect, all right? You know what I'm saying? Even though I have a pack that'll give you a head start, there's something that'll be somewhat good for you to start, but you gotta change the key and the scale, because you gotta understand, the key and the scale will change for every single person. All the beats are not in B flat minor. They're not all in C minor. They're all not in C major. They're not in A minor. They're not all in D minor. They're like whatever, right? They're not all in these keys and these scales. Like every beat is going to be different. Some songs you're probably going to want more Waves Tune real time than others. You're going to need more correction for others if you're recording other people. It's just something you got to understand. Like there's no perfect way.